Hi everyone, welcome to Value. So today we're looking at Humacyte. They just released an announcement which I think is pretty positive. There's pricing information, there's interest from hospitals, and they've got their sales team ready to go. So you wouldn't tell that from the share price as it's down at 4.7%. And it's right now at 4.39. So share price is kind of under pressure, but if you look at the whole trading environment, everything's kind of down. Like, there's not many stocks that are kind of trading well. There are other ones that are Trump related, which obviously is doing well off, you know, him being president very soon and with his inauguration. But apart from that, whole market's down, so I just attribute the current situation to the market. But also shorts have kind of increased. It's at like 30 million shares short right now, which is quite a bit. If we look at the volume traded today, it's 2.8 million shares traded today, and you're telling me you're 30 million shares short. So, like, I hope a really positive announcement comes out and those shorts have to cover, and that's really going to put a rocket under the stock. Until then, I guess it's still a bit more patience, you know. It's a real good buying opportunity if you think, you know, the stock's got a good future ahead of it. Like, obviously, things still have to wait for the labelling to be finished. It does sound like they were quite proactive in getting things like moving forward. So in terms of where they're at, so where are they? So they did say here, so Humacyte is responding to requests for quotation from hospitals and has initiated the Value Analysis Committee approval process at multiple hospitals as part of the preparation for market launch. So you've already got some hospitals that are quite interested. Those, you know, the hospitals are going to do a financial analysis, and they're going to, you know, kind of decide if it's worth them stocking this product in their inventory so they can offer it to patients. So, like, if you look at this kind of here, and then you look at how the company's doing a budget impact model to support the pricing of Symvess. And then you look at that they announced that the price of Symvess will be $29,500. Like, originally they were signaling to the market it's going to be around $25,000. Now I don't know if inflation kind of impacted that since when they announced it, but now the price is at $29,500. It sounds like it's more to their discretion because they've held back instead of just putting this at 30,000, they were just like, oh, let's put it below 500 below that 30,000 to make it look really attractive, like a kind of how you sell things at supermarkets. Just round it down by a little bit so it doesn't look like that of a daunting price, supposedly. But yeah, 29,500 is actually a really positive price point in terms of how our management is signaling like the value, kind of like they believe there's so much value that they can price this at 29,500 and hospitals would still find this cheaper than using other products. So as I've already said, like so based on the model, the per patient cost of treating patients of Symvess is estimated to be less than the cost of treating trauma patients of synthetic grafts and the other grafts too, which have much more complicated names. And let's see, crypto preserved allografts. Yeah, let's not try that at the moment. But yeah, like, that's pretty positive. Like, if there was any positive signs in terms of how management was kind of like checking the market, going through negotiations, if they wanted to be even more convincing, then obviously they would have priced it lower to convince hospitals of the value. But the fact that they priced this at 29,500 means they see overwhelming value and that they feel like it's that convincing to the hospitals to use it. Like, so like earlier when these guys got FDA approval, and there were all these warnings and all this, and they couldn't, and the information to compare with synthetic grafts was not directly on it. The only mention was a comparison with plastic grafts. So the fact that you've got hospitals who do their own research and due diligence in terms of the pricing is kind of a really good thing. So regardless of what the FDA kind of puts on their packaging, it's also really cool that the hospitals do their own kind of analysis and look at the whole product comparison as well. So in a sense, it's not too bad regarding any information that's missing or was added in terms of the packaging for the FDA, because again, you're looking at this and going, hospitals do their own calculations, because hospitals are, they are run in a financial way where they look at the profit and the costs and everything, and if Humacyte is pricing it this way, then I would say that's a really good sign that they see the hospitals still being convinced even if they price it at this price point. And then also additionally, they are applying for new technology add-on payments, which if they do get reimbursements for this, could start in October 2025, which kind of adds a payment to cover a portion of the cost of Symvess. So I'd say that's also, if they can get that also lowers the price point, which I think that could also be why they've priced it higher than they initially have, because they could be seeing like this part here where they can get coverage, and that kind of portion could be lowering it to that 25,000 price point. So it could just be that. So I'm not entirely sure how they've come to this pricing and why, unless their cost is that high, which would be a little, worrying. Like, hopefully their cost isn't that high and their margins are really good when they price it at this. But it does sound like they're going to be publishing a model which will show people why they're pricing it this way and the value kind of that it adds. So yeah, apart from that, they've also got a sales team of 10 people, I think. So all 10 sales members are multi-year President's Club winners, representing top 10% of achievers in their prior sales organization. So I guess that's a good sign, like that they've hired really, really experienced and top salespeople, and they only need 10 because there's like 200 main centers that they really need to sell to. So if you have 10, technically those 10 only have to approach 20 kind of main centers. Of course, there's more than that, but Humacyte itself identified around 200. That will be their main focus. And then if they need to hire more people, they will in the future. They will see how they go. In a sense, it's good that they only need 10 sales team members, because it also means the cost is kept much lower than if you had a much larger sales team. That's possibly the bonus about these type of products, that you don't have to sell a lot to kind of make a decent amount of revenue, unlike consumer type products which sell at a much smaller pricing point, but you have to sell so much and you have to have such a large sales team to really convince people. But yeah, I'd say all this looks really, really positive. I did forget to mention that part about where where they talked, once they got FDA approval. So shortly after approval, Humacyte provided the final packaging and product batch release information required for FDA review prior to shipment of product. So Humacyte currently expects to have authorization to commence product shipment early this quarter and continues to build product supply to support market launch. So that itself is really positive. It's like the minute FDA kind of approved it, told them what they had to have on their kind of labeling, it didn't sound like they needed much time to just sort it out and then send the final packaging back to the FDA, and they were happy with everything. So in a way, I thought they might have a few back and forths, but the company just sounds like they were happy and they had everything ready to just send back immediately. So right now it just sounds like they're waiting on the FDA. Hopefully the FDA doesn't take that long this time. And once the FDA is happy and there's no back and forths, then the product's ready to go. They're also building up inventory, which is also a really, really good sign. So it doesn't sound like they're worried that they can't sell it, which is, half of that the suspicion behind shorters. Like, people shorting the stock don't think the company's going to sell a lot. So I think this is where the company can prove them wrong. There was also that Seeking Alpha article that kind of said, these guys might be selling this product for between $10,000 to $20,000, and today we have a pricing point of $29,500. So there's a lot of stuff out there that's put out, and then it kind of is very misleading, kind of causes a lot of doubt around the company, and also why people end up shorting this company, because they kind of read the wrong stuff and feel like things aren't as positive. But like, this is really positive today. Like, you look at all this information, you look at the progress the company's making. Obviously, the one downside currently is the way, the length of time it's taken for things to get moving. So by the time they get approval, I'd say maybe it might take another month. If it's shorter, I'll be pretty happy, but if it's not, that's fine too. Mid-February, I would be happy with that time frame. And if they can get some sales down, I think it will help, but I don't think it's going to alleviate the need for a capital raise. Of course, it's going to lower the need for a capital raise, because the more sales they can get, the less that they have to raise. And at the end of the day, they don't have to raise a lot if they can get a lot of sales getting closer to the end of the year, obviously, because they do have enough financial kind of strength to just get them through for a bit longer. But if they can get sales going much quicker, because they are burning close to 30 million per quarter, so I think that's the thing that you just have to keep an eye on, that hey, they might be possibly doing a raise, but I don't see it as a big problem. The main point really is the sales. If they can get these sales going, nothing else really matters, because if they raise another 30 or 60 million, that's not too worrying in the scheme of things. The biggest worry is whether they can get the sales or not, and based on their price point, I think they have a lot of confidence. So yeah, I just take this as a massive positive. I guess the next announcement will be their value model that they said they'll be publishing, and then hopefully after that it'll be the FDA approval for the packaging, and then after that they can just get a full market launch, and then hopefully after that they can announce sales, which will be fantastic. We've been waiting for a long time. You're getting near the end of the tunnel, but it's just a bit more patience to go. Looking at the share price, it's not optimistic, when it's trading at $4.39, but the other way to look at it is it's a good buying opportunity. If you can't buy anymore, then obviously you just hold and watch, and just go do something else. Looking at the share price, I don't think it's healthy just to watch the share price, because it's just not really going anywhere precisely. but I guess it's kind of like trading down here. So in a way, it's good in a sense for it to just consolidate. You don't want to see the share price coming down any lower, because like I think if it can set a base down here, then it will start to run up again, getting closer to sales. Initially, I didn't think the share price was going to come down this low. So I had a little inkling that it would come down to mid fours, but I didn't see the market coming down this much. Like, the market's been terrible, so there's been a lot of selling pressure lately for the whole market. But apart from that, I think you just you just be patient, really, and there's not a lot to do in the meantime. Like, I still stick, like, it's still possibly going to be February when things officially start going into a commercial phase, but that's just how it goes. Until then, hopefully there's another announcement soon, and then we can just keep progressing. Like, in a way, it's good that the company is updating investors about this, that we aren't just kept in the dark for like a month or two until sales actually begin. They're actually showing their progress. There's interest from hospitals, and they've got their sales staff going. So overall, I think they're making really, really good progress. It's just a matter of being patient, and once sales start, like, hopefully it's reflected in the share price, because it's definitely quite undervalued. Like, they've done so much work to get so far, yet share price trades at this price point, which is weird. But that's the market, But we'll just see how things go over time. Until then, if you've got any questions or comments, post below, and good luck investing, everyone.